Good afternoon,
Hello.
everyone. Welcome to the Coffee Rockstar podcast. It's been a long time since we've done anything like this. It's just been a really busy 2026. I think this is the first one we've done this year. I don't really remember, but
Really?
most of the podcasts that we have or the platforms we stream on have been really quiet. So we did try to do a Spotify podcast that lived for only a few months, and then life happened, and we got busy. So once again, welcome to the Coffee Rockstar podcast, and I'm here with my co-host, Eric. And from time to time, we're gonna try and do this more often. Try, because once again, yung nga, life is busy, and 2026 has been an interesting year for the coffee industry.
Yes.
So, um, yeah, exactly. So, everyone who's been joining us or is checking us out, feel free to get into the chat and join in on this Monday afternoon, July 31. Today, we really have nothing much to talk about except we're just gonna chill. We're gonna talk about the Brewers, the World Brewers Championship. Is that what it's called?
Brussels. World of Coffee Brussels.
Yeah, that's it. And then we're also going to be talking about the current situation of coffee. How are coffee prices and all those things for those who have not been updated? And we're also going to see what you guys think about reviving this podcast and see if you guys would be interested in what topics you guys would be interested in in uh, in this Coffee Rockstar podcast. Who do you want us to invite? Who do you want us to interview? And yeah, if you guys have any questions about coffee or entrepreneurship or life, feel free to comment in the chat. So, Eric, how was your weekend?
Uh, Uneventful. Shocked. So I went to a Pokemon trading card show in Green Hills, and my jaw just dropped at the sheer volume of people who are buying and trading Pokemon cards and how expensive they are. And that's the eye opener where I was like, I think I'm in the wrong industry again.
So, yeah, our generation, at least you and me, we grew up with Pokemon playing on TV after school every day, and we also played Pokemon. Well, you did. I didn't play much Pokemon on the Game Boy. Was it on the Advance or was it on the original Game Boy? I don't remember.
It was on the original Game Boy, and then it got to the advanced. Every generation had a Pokemon.
So, guys, everyone who's been joining the show, we've deviated a little bit. We're talking about Pokemon, and it's been an interesting. The popularity has been becoming really interesting. Every mall seems to have these card trading fair. What did it call? Swap meet? I think it's
Expo,
called a swap
Expo.
meet. Expo. Yeah, that's right. And it's really interesting to look at because it's like all these hobbies have its own subcultures, and the Pokemon subculture is, I feel, the people who love it are. It reminds me of people who love coffee. Like they get really deep into it and they get nuts, and it's just really surprising to see how much money is exchanging hands in these things because in coffee, and we've been doing this for a while, and I think our viewers have been following coffee for a while as well. And I don't think that much money exchanges hands in coffee fairs, right? So there's the Manila Coffee Fest that's coming up this week, and I believe there's three halls at Mega Mall, and I don't think, compared to like the tiny space that the Pokemon groups are occupying in the malls, I don't think coffee comes close to that much money being exchanged. Because I was walking around in these fairs, and it was a few weeks ago. I was with my son Dylan, and we were just curious. We checked it out, and like these guys are, I think they're millennials. They must be millennials or
Oh.
Gen Z, but they were like exchanging, like there was bouncers beside the tables. That's first of all. That's the first thing I noticed. And you don't see those in the coffee booths in our coffee get-togethers. But there's bouncers beside these tables with the Pokemon cards displayed. And I think um yeah, 85,000. Like I saw 85,000, someone buying an 85,000 peso card on the spot, and I thought it was nuts. And I find it really interesting that there's that much disposable income, or there's not much money going around. Maybe it's not disposable. Maybe they put they probably sold their cell phone to buy it. I don't know, but hey guys, if you guys want to join in the chat, feel free to jump in. But Eric, what's your thoughts on this? I think it's a bit interesting. I want to get your thoughts on it because you are a Pokemon fan. You do your Pokemon runs, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something you grew up with.
Well, it's a double-edged sword. Like on the one hand, I appreciate that there's a lot more activities that are happening that are Pokemon related. Like they're opening a Pokemon pop-up store in Mall of Asia, I think towards the end of the year or sometime soon. So there's actually going to be a Pokemon store in outside of Japan here. Uh, my ish with the whole thing is it's just how Pokemon has become, or at least the cards themselves have become a commodity to themselves. So we don't. When I was there, I was watching cards exchange each other. So there were people who were trading like an 800,000 peso value card for like two 500,000. Parang ganun yung usapan nila. So it's like the card itself is good as cash. So you don't see cash being transacted, but it's a perceived value of how much these cards are worth, which is really interesting because technically it functions similar to, I guess, specialty coffee to a certain extent. Except
I don't
these,
see anyone. I don't see anyone trading green beans.
well, no. Remember, there was that farmer who sold. I don't know. I don't remember how much his per kilo coffee was, but some crazy amount. I remember that it was highlight, but no one puts notice to these cards. That it's like I was looking at the table, and they have these really cool looking suitcase looking displays, and I was scanning the price. I was like, holy crap! In this little box thing, there's about 20 million pesos worth of cards. Like literally, I had to walk away. I was like, I'm not gonna be near this because it's literally just there, and they
Oh,
talk
man.
about it as if it's nothing.
Hey Kirk. Hey, hello. Welcome
Hey.
to the show again. So we're back, and yung nga, we're if you're just joining right now, we're talking about Pokemon and how nuts it has been.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yung nga sabi nga ni Kirk, welcome back. So yeah, we're back. Yeah, no, I don't think I don't see how the coffee industry can do something like this, except if well, I think the closest thing is Q graders. If it's a Q certified coffee or green beans, but even that has fallen apart now. Q graders, they're doing a revamp. They're doing something new. You and me, we both evolved. We're evolved cues. How that would help, I don't know, but
Well,
um,
because coffee expires so that's the thing. It's not like a Pokemon card where it can be parang traded internationally. Like you can bring one PSA graded 10 card from one country and resell it in another country and still make a profit. Whereas if you bring a coffee based on the new Evolve Q, it becomes subjective. So prices, well, I feel that in Kenya, this coffee is will be a parang a 10. Whereas in, let's say, Japan, maybe it's just a 6. So yung parang the subjectivity of the valuation becomes very difficult. And this is why I personally, again, let's go back to the queue. I personally like the old queue more
Okay,
because,
why? I think that's interesting.
well, it gives a very a common language amongst everyone. So when somebody says, "Oh, this coffee scored an 85 or an 86," you generally know what to expect. You're not saying it could be an 85 in a country that I've never been to, right? So at least when somebody tells me, if let's say a friend of ours sends a coffee from Korea and says this is from a farm that they just worked with Babago, without letting me know that there are preconceived notions of parang, let's say it's not a geisha, it's not a Panama, it's parang unknown lang talaga, but they tell me what the score is. At least I know what to expect and the value for it. Ganun din, pasok pa rin siya. So parang right now, if you look at Pokemon card grading, ilan sila? PSA, Beckett. I think Beckett's one of them. CGC. Apparently, if you do it from one of these companies, sabi daw nila nagsasayang ka lang ng pera. It actually devalues the card if you get it graded by another, but like an unauthorized or a non a company that's not so established. So if you want to look at it in the perspective of coffee, once upon a time, when a coffee is graded by a Q or a Q parang certified, it has that valuation. Now you have all of these different parang I guess the more subjective something is, the more it's hard to place a value to it. Kasi how Siyempre, it's an investment. Because let's be real. If a card is worth ₱1,000,000, that's an investment. Like you can trade a card for a house.
Yep. Yep.
What are your thoughts on the how you evolved along with the other CQIQ? Para ko lang na sabihin natin OGQ.
Um, no, I think it's a good way to have a common language still, right? In terms of cupping and the cupping standards, it has changed in that the story of the coffee is now being considered. Where it's from is being considered, and I think the more people accept it, the more it'll become universal. But at the moment, I don't know how to put a value to it. Because alam mo yung coffee, I think the difficulty with coffee is yung nga, there is um like how good parang the story behind the coffee gives it extra value, but it still has to taste good, right? That's one. Two, there should it shouldn't be so scarce that nobody can taste it. Kasi, the value of that coffee, kunyari, 5 kilos lang, would be, only for the people who's able to taste it, right? There should be enough, right? So, I think, hindi pa kompleto yung bagong queue. I think they still need to work on it. It's kind of silly we're comparing it to the Pokemon cards because, like, those Pokemon cards, it's like gold, diba? It's like perceived value. There's an agreed price on it, and there's people who are willing to pay and buy those items, which is kind of crazy, right? Um, and yung standard nila is they go to eBay and they check how much it is, and then that's the value. Whoever the last sale on eBay is the more or less the guide, diba? So if there's some crazy person who let's say you have a card, you post it on eBay, and just to inflate the price, I go there and I buy your card at insane price. That would push up the value of that card, right? Instantly. So, parang ganun din yung mga auctions sa coffee. Like if like Farmer X goes to an auction and then yung medyo luto nga, somebody comes around and says, "You know what? I'm gonna place a gigantic bid on that." And then just to bump up the price, that would mess things up as well. So I think mm, the comparison is similar but not there. Also, you can't carry green beans in your pocket.
That, and I think the other thing is we have to remember that it's always the law of averages, diba? So just because you have one auction price that bumps it up doesn't mean it'll inflate for everyone. So it also goes back to the concept that there needs to be, as you mentioned, enough of it, of availability, and enough people who are willing to pay that price. So parang, and when you go to these card shows, it averages, so parang syempre, you can go, what they'll see is they'll look at the last 3 4 auctions. And the funny thing is, when you actually go to their table, they don't give you a price. Even though there's a price there, before they sell it to you, they'll check again to see what the current valuation is. So even if nakasulat doon sa presyo, it's gonna be like, sabihin lang natin, let's say it was like 500,000. They're gonna check, and if the average increases to 800,000 all of a sudden, they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, price just went up." Parang it's almost like commodity stock marketing. Say mo, wait, but it says, okay, never mind. So that's why
It's wilder than coffee because coffee coffee commodity market does swing, but it doesn't swing that wildly. It's kind of crazy. Like kape, like at least yung kung nagbigay ako ng presyo today to a green bean customer, for example, right? I can hold that price till tomorrow and the next day, right? It's not like you're at a show and then we go, oops, price just doubled. So hindi ganon. Yeah, there are. It's really interesting to see it from the lens that, well, keep in mind we're outsiders in this Pokemon trading thing. It's kind of crazy. We're trying to wrap our heads around it. And I know there's a lot of coffee friends out there who's also into it because I've been getting messages whenever like I see like some insane price card. I take a picture and I post it on my Instagram, and they go, "You bought?" And I was like, "No way."
no.
I think it's not for me. I find it interesting, and for me, it's learning to see how uh, humans FOMO into things, but the FOMO into. Are you gonna
FOMO.
open one? Oh yeah, yeah. Remember that the Labubu?
This was a year ago. My God.
Yeah. So it's interesting to learn and observe how people react to these trends and how crazy they get into. But I think the important thing is like we shouldn't fall into these things, right? At the end of the day, we still need to survive in the coffee industry, and we can't shift our disposable incomes into something that has nothing to do with what we actually do, which is coffee. Oh no! Open it, tear it
This
open,
was
tear it open.
this was procured as an old gift that was given to my nephew, your son, who does not appreciate or does not grasp the concept of. But this is just the box. This is not the card. So, kahon lang to. I'm not holding parang anything worth over. Like, imagine mo. This is how when we've actually bought this. This is how kids should play with it. When you open it, you'll see na yung mga cards, may tupi talaga. You can't avoid it because that's what kids do. They play with it. These new generations just open it and then grade it. Send it to PSA for grading. Which is, I don't understand. Parang, I think that's what CQI wanted to be. They wanted to grade all the coffees and put a valuation and hope that it trades for that amount. That was probably the goal.
I think yeah, no. I think we should go back to coffee in the discussion, by the way. So a few things have gone by,
Okay.
and yeah. So first of all, um, Brewers Cup. Brewers Cup happened, and this year's Brewers Cup was super super interesting. It happened in Brussels. I watched a few of the competitors. So it's safe to say that the trend is still Geshas because the top six all use Geshas again. But this time, what's interesting and I think it's nice to see as well is the champion himself scored the highest in terms of compulsory. So it shows that the compulsory round or the compulsory portion of the competition does work. It makes the competition through skill and not so much. Coffee means a lot, pa rin, but still, he was about 30 points away from like everybody else in terms of his compulsory scores. So he knew what he was doing. He's a good brewer, and I think that's super super cool.
But here's the thing though. The way the world works is it's such a brutal cut because in order for your compulsory score to count, you need to get to the top six. So even parang it goes back to the idea that if you don't make the top six, regardless of how good of a brewer you are, you're parang malas ka, right? You can have kasi the other thing you have to remember is in order for them to narrow down to top six, they have different panels. So it's not just one judge group that goes through that whole thing. So parang sabihin lang natin, swerte-swertehan din if you have a panel that likes your coffee and scores your coffee that well. Kasi again, based on how parang syempre, judging is also you parang as much as they keep on saying pull yourself out away from no, it's now a personal experience, so it actually goes back into how much you enjoyed the coffee, so there's personal experience involved in this. So whether you approach it from that sense, it there it's still a little bit challenging for them to be able to say um, this is the best because it's not just one panel.
Well, he was no. I think the champ really. It was his time, right? Like it's part luck as well. Diba? It's the panel you face. Also, from experience, these coffees do go to sleep. That's the other thing. Like when I say coffees go to sleep, it's tasting super super good all the way till competition day, and it decides to not perform. So it's not just you; it's also the coffee. Minsan, you have a coffee that would score super super high, but on competition day, it decides to say, "I don't want to work today."
My Gen Z pala na kape. Yung parang sorry, not today. I don't feel good. My tummy hurts.
No, more like jet lag. Ano siya, natutulog. So, no, kasi coffee is a natural product, right? Like it's an agricultural product. It's a natural thing. The flavors won't always come out. It's just like that. Because, for example, my competition coffees on competition day was not acting too well, right? It was good, but it wasn't as good as before the competition and after the competition, right? So it does happen.
I don't understand.
Either it could be the weather, like humidity, or it could be other considerations, right?
I don't understand. Parang I've heard this thing a few times already where if somebody would say the coffee didn't want to perform that day. And parang parang syempre, if I was the one who's competing, these are things that are out of my parang it's not like you could cheer up the coffee parang in the morning you give it a pep talk saying, "Oh, you're going to be good, ah. You're going to shine, you're going to be amazing, you're going to parang how do you say sorry my coffee just wasn't in the mood?"
Well, I think the best part is, well, the most important thing is to prepare, right? So having multiple coffees is very important. So when competing, you can't just have like 1 or 2 kilos of coffee. You have to have more, and that's part of the game. You're supposed to be prepared for anything, right? Um, and open minded enough to consider all the options. So I think that's important.
So when you say natulog yung kape, does that mean that it's not tasting like anything, or does the flavor profile change? Now, oh, I can just change the different notes and go from there.
No, it means that the intensity of the flavors just came down, right? Like it's not as intense as it used to be. Um, if you watch, there's a movie called Baristas, and I think there's two movies, and it's about the World Barista Championship.
Mm.
And you'll see on that movie that and you can see it clearly because they followed they followed like five different baristas throughout their competition journey, and you can
Mm.
see that they were really having a hard time with the coffee, with the flavors, because it was changing. Like from day one to day two to day three, the coffee flavors, the notes were changing. And I think these days, with better understanding of processing and the better understanding of how coffee acts, it's not that bad anymore. Like when we went to Milan, for example, our coffee did change from round one to round two, but the flavors didn't swing. It's not like one day it was berries, and then the next day it was florals or chocolate. It wasn't that bad. Like ours was berries pa rin siya, but today it's blueberry, tomorrow it's strawberry, the next day it's cranberry. That's what I mean when the flavor changes. It's not a huge swing. It's still within the same family of fruits. But yung when I say natuloy yung coffee, that means the intensity came down. So making for example, milk course, you need the intensity of the coffee to be high enough for it to punch through the milk. Especially these days, the milk that we're using are very heavily processed, right? Like it's rotovap or freeze distilled or freeze dried. Um, you must have enough intensity for the coffee to push through, and that requires, it requires a stable coffee, right? Or backup plans, multiple backup plans. Which that's my learning. Like that's why I'm looking for our for this year's campaign for Tokyo 2027. That's the
Mhm.
plan, to have enough coffee ready that if our favorite coffee goes to sleep, we've got a backup plan, right? Kirk just jumped on the chat, and he's asking, have you seen the PCQC bidding? The coffees from our region, the top three, Samuel Ochea Jr., the bidding was crazy. The bidding extended two, three times because nagagawan yung bidders on who won the final bid.
Nice.
Um, that's really cool, and I think that's how it should be, right? Like kung may potential talaga yung kape, dapat you people should really pay for what they feel the value is, diba? So I think that's super cool. Sana lang yung it'd be really cool if the coffee industry, so if there's any techies out there, kung gumawa kayo ng parang eBay na doon na lang magbidding yung yung kape. Kasi currently I know the bidding platforms for coffee that they're using right now, they do take a huge chunk of the potential income of the farmer. So maganda sana kung may online marketplace for coffee and green beans. Um,
Uh,
so Josh, hi Josh, how are you? Oh, may sasabihin nga pala si Eric. Okay, Eric, what's up?
eBay takes a large chunk of your income too. It's not like they're cheap.
Okay, okay, all right. So Josh actually has a Tempesta, and he's got a really cool machine and a really cool setup in his cafe. What are the challenges of working with milk in competition? Biggest challenge with milk is it is perishable, and depends, like based on the WBC rules, you can't really do much with it. You can subtract from the milk, meaning you can do freeze distill, rotovap, freeze dry. So you can remove from the milk, but you cannot add. But you can mix, right? So you can mix milks. Um, main rule in milk is all milks are allowed except human milk. Okay, so for the creative people out there, human milk is not allowed. Another challenge with the milk is so for example, yung mga rotovap milk namin, we actually freeze them, we keep them frozen, and that's how we travel with it, right? So if we're going to compete in different countries, we keep it in an ice chest and we throw in some dry ice, and we travel with it. The risk is sometimes customs of the country we're visiting sees it and throws it out because there's some countries have rules on that. So that's milk.
Well,
So
there's
sabi
more
nga
to
ni
that.
Kirk, nakapagpapala siya ng kape. Kirk, we'd love to try it if you have some. Thank you. Eric?
Well, with the other thing, with milk, I think the biggest, it becomes another variable. Eh. Kasi if you're using parang localized milk, you don't know what it's gonna be like and how it would react to your coffees. Assuming that you're going in blind with parang hindi ka handa doon sa kape mo. Like if you couldn't bring the milk that you're working with, you have to source from there. Because I remembered when we were in Milan, or when you were in Milan, you were trying the local milks as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, with competitions, you really have to keep an open mind. You have to have backup plans to your backup plans to your backup plans, which like we've come across. We've or at least I've competed enough and have come across a lot of coaches already that hate my backup plan. Like they really have an issue with how much backup plans I have in place that nagugulat sila. And yung nga, it just comes. It's almost 10 years. I've been competing for 10 years, and it just comes with experience, right? Like things do go wrong, and whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So you just have to be prepared. Like lalo na
Caramel milk.
sa on competition day, I remember competition day in Milan, yung grinder ko biglang nawala, right? Like somebody took it and moved it. So, you just have to be prepared for stuff like that. It's annoying, but ayun. Eric?
What else happened during Brewers? It's still so Malaysia won, so that was quite exciting. So they've been on a roll. They've been on a roll because they
Yeah,
did
so
very well in barista as well.
yeah, for barista they came in I think fourth. Guys in the chat, you guys can correct us if we're wrong, but I think they came in fourth in Milan. They also have a latte art champion a few years ago,
Good
and
spirits.
then they have this brewers champ. So that's really cool.
Good spirits in Pacific.
Good spirits parang wala pa. I don't recall if they have anyone for good spirits. But good spirits, sino ba nanalo this year? Yung good spirits, medyo hindi natin pinapansin eh. That
Uh,
happened in Brussels as well.
it was in Indonesia. Oh, I don't
No,
remember, but I no.
Indonesia was the year before.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't recall.
yeah,
I don't
because we don't
recall.
have good spirits here, so that's why we don't pay attention to it. Hopefully, magkakaroon. Yeah, so Kirk is asking if oat milk is allowed in the WBC. The oat milk trend is crazy. 80% of our milk stock is oat, 20% full cream. So yes, oat milk is allowed as long as it's not flavored. So allowed yung non-dairy milk alternatives, sweetened or non-sweetened, but hindi siya pwedeng i-flavor. So kunyari, one of the things we were playing around with was banana milk. Um, as long as it's natural banana and it's commercially available, pwede siya. The difficulty now is most of the banana milks in the market are flavored, right? It says it on the label. There is one brand in Canada that was banana milk made from real bananas. They took it off the market after launching it because as we all know, banana changes colors. So imagine black milk.
Yummy.
Yummy,
Well,
I know. It's super
I
sweet though.
wonder about the trend of oat milk because I wonder if people think it's healthier because they hear oat. I said, parang, uh, I know that I don't like oat milk just because number one, I don't like the texture and I think it's too sweet. Parang yung glycemic index niya is too sweet. So there isn't really, parang it'll spike your sugar up. So personally, I would still, if I had to drink milk, I drink parang regular milk.
Yeah.
Personally.
I gave up on we were producing oat milk, so the barista's choice oat milk is commercially available, but and I can tell you that uh, it's not healthier than milk. First of all, because oat is it's basically starch, and you convert those starch into sugars using an enzyme called amylase, and it does spike your sugar. So and a lot of the oat milks that are commercially available does have real sugar in it, right? It's basically the ingredients of oat milk. So is oat, right? Enzyme called amylase that breaks down the starches in the oat and turns it into sugars, and oil. So it depends on what kind of oil they emulsify this stuff in. Usually, yung mga commercially available, unless yung nga specialty oat milk siya, that oil is not good for you. It'll clog your arteries. So depende. So I don't know how transparent these manufacturers are, but to me, I prefer dairy. And if I don't want the lactose, I just go for lactose-free dairy, which is sweeter. When you break down the lactose, it turns into galactose and glucose, and those are pretty sweet. Josh has a question here. So, ang question nga ni Josh is, how do you determine if a coffee is competition worthy? What are the key parameters you evaluate during decision-making process? So, well, I think a competition coffee is worthy. First of all, you have to like it. You have to like it yourself. And then second, you look through the rules and the parameters of how the judges are meant to judge, and then you run it through like a crucible. Like you grade it yourself, and you see if you yourself would score it. um I think dapat higher than 3.5. It should be at least a 4 or a 5 or a 6. But you have to be really hard on the coffee. That's the thing. So, a lot of people enter these coffees. They just go buy whatever expensive coffee they have, and because of the amount they pay for it, they are, we're human, right? So, syempre, yung value that we paid for it is our perceived value of the product. So we really need to separate ourselves from our feelings. Dapat walang feelings kung pumipili ng kape. And you just have to put it through the test, right? Like for barista, at least we are being graded or being scored for accuracy. How much accuracy are you confident that whatever notes you say about that coffee will give you a full score of 3, right? 3 out of 3. So it has to be, the flavors has to be clear. The tactile, that's up to you. That's barista skill na. How you pull the shot, how you roast the coffee, that will determine the tactile of the coffee. And then the last two, the two other ones is the taste experience and the tactile experience. That's also skill. That's based on the barista and how they manipulate the recipe and the grind size and all these things to bring out its potential. So for us at least, when we're choosing our coffee, um, there's no feelings. We work with producers we know that we have history with, and then we do a blind taste, and we're as hard on the coffee. We're hard on all coffees kasi blind nga eh. So we don't know whose it is, and then we choose from there. It's not easy. Lalo na kung ang pinakamasarap na coffee, you don't have a relationship with the producer. Yun ang mahirap because that I think having that relationship with the producer helps you represent that coffee better, right? It's more meaningful. So yeah, with almost 10 years of competing, I've competed with some coffees that I chose because of feelings, because I wanted to compete with a certain coffee from a certain farm, and you get slaughtered in the competition, and it happens. So yeah, just have to be careful. There was one year I competed with the local coffee and got killed. I think 2 years. There's 2 years I did that.
Well, just to add to that as well, one of the things that I think is really important for people to consider, and for anyone who's really interested in going into competitions, is to understand the rules and understand what the competition is about. So right now, SEA or WCC is introducing the skills program, which is the judges skills program, which is a good foundation for everyone who is interested in coffee competitions to go into, to understand what the competition is really about. Because going in not understanding what you're being judged or what the competition is really about is going in blind. So parang when you're saying thinking when you mentioned it's a three, unless you know what a three is, how do you really improve, right? So just as a heads up, I know I'm plugging. I'm plugging. There's going to be a skills program happening in August, I think. You can look it up. It's coffee clinic. Yet is it called coffee clinic? Something. It's being ran in August, and it's going to be done by the WCC rep is Rainier from. He was the head judge in Brussels this time around. So I think it would be good to parang have a general grasp of what the judges are actually looking for. Because one of the things that for me I would say is, does the coffee leave a lasting impression more than anything else? Parang will when you after you have that espresso or whatever it is it something that you'll be like, oh, are the flavors very clear? And is it something that you'll say, oh, I remember that one. Yung parang it was so memorable that you'll be, oh yeah, that one. Kasi one of the funniest things if that I heard from Michael beforehand was, I think I'm getting tired of my coffee. Last year, I think that was what he said. I think I'm getting tired of my coffee. It's like, what?
Yeah, and that's the coffee that scored the highest score in the entire competition, right? No, I think the issue was as competitors, we definitely need an outside point of view. That's why it's important to have a good coach, because imagine drinking the same coffee every single day for 8 hours a day. You become immune, right? And if that coffee is really something you believe in, you'll stand by it. But you still need an external point of view. Like you need someone who doesn't know it that well to help you determine if the coffee is still okay or nagsawa ka na ba talaga dun sa coffee yun. But yeah, I think Eric brings up a really, really good point. Like knowing what the judges is looking for is really important. For the longest time, I did not know what a signature drink that would score over a five would taste like. And every judge I ran across, they always ask, what does a five taste like, or make me a five, right? Like yung show me, like how would I know what to make if I don't know what a five is? So that's why these judges training programs, sensory skills program is really important, and these are open for both competitors and judges. um it's important to know, and you guys would have a calibration barista there who would hopefully make a five, but if not a five, at least you'll know what a three is, or a two, depending on who they get. But the judges skills program that you're mentioning, I think that's for brewers. I don't know if it's for barista.
Oh, okay.
I think the barista one's gonna be ran in September, but I don't know much about it yet. So it really depends on who's running the judges skill program, and kung swerte ka sa calibration barista. The one in September that will be running, I was tapped to do the calibration, be the calibration barista. So that might be interesting. But we haven't finalized yet. So if things work out, I'll talk more about it. But definitely, if the calibration barista is serious about it, they would do the entire set, the real set, right? That I know, and they will be scored, and it's like a mock competition, right? It's not parang calibration barista brews this and then serves it. It's not like that. Like I believe the calibration barista is supposed to go through their entire routine and present. So ito si Kirk sabi niya, I remember Hide Ikazi saying during the first barista assembly in 2019, if you compete and you want to win, you use the coffee everyone likes, not the one you like. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You need to adopt. You need to adopt to the judges. You need to adopt to their expectations. Like there's some coffees that I really really like, especially that year with Hide. There was a nice Itogon coffee that I really really loved. But he was very firm. He said it wasn't ready yet. So for that year, we used that local coffee as part of our signature drink ingredient. He didn't allow me to use it in my milk or my espresso.
This
So
was Boston, right?
yeah, that was Boston. Boston, I believe we came in 15th. So follow maybe if we followed his like maybe if we didn't follow his advice, malay mo mag first. But I find that impossible. But
Well, you were close. I think going into Milan, you were what, third?
yeah. Round one, third. But here's the thing with competition. Round one is not the final round. Round one is not the final round. So I think round one we should treat it like practice. No, not practice. Warm up. Warm up. Round two is we can treat round two as semi warm up.
Round two is semis. Ano ka ba?
Yeah. Okay. And then round three is the final round. So hopefully for Tokyo we'll be ready for it. And if I think if anyone in the chat or in the stream is interested, it's happening April 28th to May 2. Please stay all the way till the finals because I do wish that I make the finals this time. It's been a really long journey, and hopefully we can make Philippines proud. So
Well,
yeah, at the moment, if there's anyone watching who has green beans or have a farm, we are looking for potential coffees that we can use. So I've tapped or reached out to some of my producer friends already to see if they have coffees that we can taste. We're gonna try and finalize our coffee selection early this year because we don't like leaving things till the last moment.
but,
Um,
but, but it falls asleep. What if the coffee falls asleep?
no, 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 that's why we need backup plans, right? Yeah, kasi for example, dito sa Philippines, our harvest season starts around November, and then drying finishes around January, February. So from the looks of it, this year's harvest would be too fresh for April. So I am looking for 2026 harvest for to compete with this time, which I think it's just safer that way.
What are your thoughts on still wanting to bring Philippine coffees to the world stage? Yung parang, is that something that's still parang assuming that the direct, kasi you're going through three gauntlets eh. You have to find a coffee that is applicable not only to the first round judges, but also the second round judges and also to the third round judges. So assuming lang that the second round judges did not like parang the first round judges loved your coffee. Second round judge did not feel your coffee. How do you find a balance that you think is going to parang um, uh, please all the parang the potential judging panels?
Remember, like I did consider that, like bringing multiple coffees. The difficulty with multiple coffees and multiple scripts, right? But but we are human, and I do know my capability and my capacity. When you're competing, think of it as a CPU, right? Like as human beings, we have maximum capacities. When you are competing and you're on stage performing, you're already running at like 120% of your capacity. Now imagine if you have to change coffee on the spot. Like how much overclocking of that CPU can you go before you overheat and just blue screen of death, right? So uh, I first of all, I think bringing Philippine coffee to the world stage is still something very important to me, and I do wish that there is a coffee that can stand on the world stage and win. I'm not giving my hopes up on that, but once again, 2026 harvest was the smallest, most kawawa harvest that I've ever gone through. The partner farms that we have been supporting this year wasn't able to produce enough coffees even for our customers, even for the Giving Cafe, right? So yeah, like we do have some Liberica coffees that we have from this year's harvest, which I haven't tasted yet because it's still a bit fresh. Um, yeah, I really hope we can bring Philippine coffee to the world stage. If not on its own, then as a blend. Josh has a question, but let's go to Kirk first. Kirk said he'll send some Lanao del Sur BARMM coffees for us to check out. Thank you, Kirk. We'd love to taste those. And Josh has a question about the Better Vessel. So, Josh, the Better Vessel is I look at it as our contribution to the coffee industry. Like it's something that has not been done before. Like yes, people have removed crema in the past, but this one, a full credit I'll have to give to my son Liam, who did see me removing crema. I had a coach then. His name is Federico. We were removing crema, but in a clunky way. We were actually pouring our espresso onto filter papers, and Liam saw that and he thought it was kind of clunky and a waste of time. So yeah, that's when me and Liam started working on designing the Better Vessel. It was designed for workflow. It was designed to be efficient on stage because we only have 15 minutes, and that's one of the things um, that's really cool with my relationship with my son Liam. He's got an engineer's mind, and yeah, so he wanted it fast. He wanted to use physics to make it work. So he computed the angles and all that stuff of the vessel. He also came up with a ball valve, ball lock mechanism. My job was to 3D print, design, draw, and 3D print. There is a reason why the walls of the vessel looks like the way it does. That's supposed to represent our family, where we came from, which is rope. We run a rope company, and our family does do rope. So that's why you'll see that there's ridges around the better vessel. Um, yeah, so yeah, Liam's right now in Canada, testing out a bunch of engineering courses at the university. So he's chasing his dream, and I'm super thankful for him for helping us design. It's nice that we have that kind of contribution to the coffee industry, and we are working on a few upgrades to the better vessel for those of you who are playing around with it and is enjoying it at the moment. So never ending naman. We're still yung nga, Liam has a unfinished business with the better vessel. He feels that it could work better pa. Noemi, hello Noemi. Yeah, yes, super low harvest, which is medyo sayang nga eh. I was hoping for more this year, but hopefully this year I just came back from Benguet, from Itogon, and mukhang medyo may potential yung harvest this year. Hopefully it would be bigger, and hopefully it could make it in time. We also developed a few new post harvest protocols that has some links to to the concept I have in mind. So, sabi ni Kirk, hey Eric, do an unboxing.
Do an unboxing.
Do you have
Okay,
anything?
I do. So I've been buying this.
What is that?
These are Pokemon 151 magnets, and inside them is blind. So you can randomly get some character from 151. And for me, I think it's a magnet. So at least I have something that I enjoy. Parang at least there's some substance. Di lang siya papel. So in the box, you could see that these are your starters and Pikachu. And sure, I will do an unboxing.
Don't cut yourself. Careful.
All right. So inside this, you have a pack of the Chinese 151 right there, and a magnet. So I literally open one every day. So
Why won't you live stream it whenever you open stuff?
which way is
Yeah, we
front?
can.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. I don't see it. It's Chansey! Oh, there we go.
What can you do with that?
It's a magnet. So you just stick it on your fridge.
Okay.
There you
And
go.
the card?
There's
Are you gonna open? Are you gonna open the card pack?
Sure. Let's open. The card pack isn't so exciting because everything in the Chinese spoil packs are all shiny. So
Oh,
it's
really?
hard. Yeah. So apparently, in order to prevent scalping from happening, they did the everything shiny, because apparently you can use a metal detector to determine whether or not you have a good card or not. So, all right. How do they do this? My God. All right. All right. So I have a Grimer. Oh, wait. How does that work? Hey, it's a Clefairy. Far-fetched.
Okay.
I have a Nidoran and a
It's in
Porygon.
Chinese. It's in
Yeah,
Chinese.
it's in Chinese. So there we go. There is my unboxing, and yeah, it's hey, it's fun. I got so the shiny card here. This is the one that so every single pack has a shiny card to make sure that you can't cheat. Doubt.
All right. Josh has a question for you. He says, Sir Eric, how do you see the coffee industry evolving over the next 5 years?
Oh, next 5 years. Wow, layo ah.
Well,
So in the next 5 years, there's been just as a thought, right? There's so many shops right now that are parang have converted into parang brunch. There isn't really a coffee shop mismo that is just coffee shop. So there isn't really an aspect of specialization. So you have a proliferation of coffee shops that are parang anong food sinaserve ninyo? We serve everything, right? So if you're doing a lot of those things where if you don't have something that differentiates your coffee shop or your cafe from another thing, you just become one of many other coffee shops. So I think it's important to be able to identify what are the values and what are the things that your shop wants to go into. Parang specialty coffee, yes, there is an aspect of specialty coffee for a niche market, but how do you convert that into for everyone? Because specialty coffee isn't technically for everyone. And it's being able to find that niche that you speak to. So you can look at it two ways. You can become parang a lot more people are doing the neighborhood coffee shop. So parang their identity is based around their neighborhood and community. So it incorporates not just quality food, quality coffee, quality service, but it also gives you the ambiance that you should be parang your customers expect. You see a lot more coffee trends, so a lot more people trying to incorporate different things. So I know for a while in Canada, actually till this point in other countries, they're putting a lot more functional items into their coffee. So whether it's milk with extra protein, or parang it's uh, adding whey to your milk. Parang it's coconut water to Americano, so it's like a iced coffee coconut Americano. So it changes with regards to the trends. But for the most part, unless you are able to carve out your own niche or parang identity, parang to differentiate yourself from everyone else, it's blind boxes are done. You can't do the gotcha system anymore because people have kind of stepped away from it already. Though,
Yeah, I think the coffee industry will keep evolving. It'll keep changing in the next 5 years. I think what's going to be consistent is people will keep chasing quality, right? And yung nga, unfortunately, we're not like the Pokemon trading card business where there's that much um, funds going in and out. But people will always love coffee. It's been around for centuries, and it'll keep going. It's just we need to, like Eric said, we have to differentiate. We have to stand on whatever purpose or values that we built our shops with, and keep moving forward with it. And we pivot only when when things really change. We should always be kind of shifting, kind of adjusting to what the market wants. So matcha is a huge thing at the moment. From the looks of it, everyone has matcha. So the next new trend, we are a hot country. Like I don't understand why ice cream in coffee shops is not there, right? Like why aren't people making fresh ice cream in coffee shops? I think there's an opportunity there.
oh,
Like
Ninja Creamy.
Ninja Creamy is too small, diba? It's too small, right? Like I feel that it should either be a soft serve machine, which we do create. We do have a easy to use powder for that we've developed here at Henry and Sons, or the ones we saw in Europe where the fridge is the gelato mixer. Those are cool. Another crazy trend that we're starting to see right now is the negative 40-degree cups in China. That's kind of nuts. And those freezers, they're not difficult to maintain. Yun lang, I'm not sure how much it is, but it's available in. I've seen it available on Alibaba and AliExpress. It's just yeah, I think that's I know. Oh,
But
Noemi just mentioned ube. I think ube is going to be a huge trend. It's trending worldwide, and nakakatawa na medyo nahuli tayo sa trend na yan. Like it's starting to go explode around the world. I think it's sourcing that's difficult for us. Like kami, at least we're able to get ube from the market. But our guy in the market does have difficulties finding us good ube. We've been messing around with it as well, doing some molecular science and gastronomy with it, but it's not applicable to the shop yet because it's what we're doing to it is a little bit too complicated to do behind the bar. But we are playing around with it.
But I also think that even with trends, we're always parang behind. Parang katitingnan mo globally, wherever we are at. Parang the people who are innovators first, it takes a while for it to catch on. Katulad Liberica. We've been, parang I know even the Philippine Coffee Board's been pushing Liberica for over like years and years and years ago. And it wasn't until parang it took parang it took so many years for people to take notice about this. Tapos ngayon, everyone's looking for Liberica, and we have a shortage of Liberica, and other countries now are saying, "Oh, we have Liberica too." Because I think that was something that a few of the brewers were using. I think some of them were using Liberica as well, right? Some brewers.
Yeah. People were using the Bericas, but yung nga like it's sad that we don't appreciate our own until somebody else starts appreciating it, diba? So I think in Iberica we still need to work on it. We need to grow the volume. Um, yeah, it's not easy, right? So ube, same thing, right? We've had ube like bata pa tayo. We were kids, and there was always ube ice cream on in the freezer. And how many of our cousins or how many of our how did we appreciate it being in the freezer, right? Like I think it's like
It's
walang
a
ibang
flavor
flavor.
pang matanda. Kasi hindi
Well, tayo na
matamis.
yung matanda ngayon. Tayo na yung matanda ngayon. Kasi yung mga matatanda, mas matanda na sila. Noemi says she thought that the Giving Cafe serves ice cream. We do have ice cream at the Giving Cafe. We also had a soft serve machine there for a while, which we took out kasi a lot of it doesn't always finish, so medyo sayang yung timpla. But ice cream we have it in tubs.
So, kailangan
Yeah.
muna ma-culturally appropriate ng ibang bansa before we put value to it.
Sayang nga eh kasi yung ano pa yung mga atin, yung the salt. The
The really expensive salt.
yeah. And then we also have there's so many that's ours that I think we just have to look at what we have and really market it and yeah, it's just sad that it takes another country to appreciate what's ours until we start appreciating it for ourselves.
Baka ganun talaga yung parang kasi if you look at it, whether it's culturally, kasi ganun din naman yung mga talent sa Philippines, di ba? They don't get appreciated until they get international recognition or until somebody else recognizes them from a different
Until they
country.
work for Disney, right?
Parang kind of like yung mga artista, the Jessica Sanchez, for example, who won America's Got Talent. They were like, oh, she's Filipino. Like now that she won, parang it isn't until the international stage takes notice of what Philippines, what came from the Philippines. And it isn't until then we'll be like, oh yes, that's ganun pala.
Oh, I think that's human nature naman, di ba? Na yung nga kung sometimes it takes others to notice before we notice. Like if you see something every day, it becomes part of your normal life, right? Until somebody points it out na, uy, ang ganda pala ng, I don't know, shirt mo, right? That you wear every day. And then you start appreciating it more. So I think maybe we can do that for each other, right? Like whenever we're at a coffee shop and we see something that's nice, that we can appreciate, we should let the owner know that we really appreciate it. I think that's something nice that we can do for each other. Diba?
Yep.
So, we've been live for over an hour now, and yung nga, once again, we're taking up your time. So, yeah, the plan was 30 minutes today. So we're gonna do this more often. If you guys have any ideas of stuff we can talk about, or stuff we can, or people we can even interview, please comment on the comment on this post, comment on this live, join the chat, and we'll go through it. If there's any other follow-up questions you guys have, just feel free to write it down and message us with it so that we could tackle it or answer it online. So we play this on my Facebook profile as well as my YouTube channel, Michael Harris. So if you guys have any comments or any ideas, just message those two. Other than that, we're gonna try and do this more often. May pahabol si Josh. Ito. Yan. What are your thoughts on new ways of extracting espresso, such as automation, robotics, and emerging technologies? So, in terms of coffee automation, I'm proud to say that me and Eric has been a huge believer in automation for the longest time. Like 20, 25, 26 years ago, we were already doing Jura. Wala pang mga automated machines in the market. We were already doing it. We've been doing WMF, fully automatic machines. from the very beginning, and the roasters that condensers using is all fully automated. So we have been uh, a believer in automation, robotics, and technology for the longest time. We are a family of we've always been in manufacturing, and yung nga, our father is an engineer. Yung anak ko medyo following that path. Unfortunately, me and Eric were not engineers. Uh, we decided to enjoy ourselves in school. And Eric played Pokemon. So yeah, we're huge believers in these technologies. But I don't think this technology is the reason why people fear these technologies. They feel that um, technology will take away jobs. It doesn't. And it wouldn't. Like, for example, in our factory, even though we have a fully automatic roaster from the green bean level all the way to packing, we still employ a lot of people. And and that's the thing. It's just what technology helps with is it makes it boosts up efficiency. So rather than just being able to do, like, I don't know, 10 tons a day, you're able to multiply that, right? And it's same amount of hours per day. So it gives our staff, like, first of all, hindi nila kailangan magbuhat, di ba? Yung second is medyo manual labor lessons. Like, there's still people running these roasters, but now they have more time for quality control. They have more time for being mindful of what's going on, right? Rather than, imagine kung ikaw yung taga-takal and that's all you do all day. That's a waste of effort, right? If a machine can do it. So automation, huge thing. I think there will be more and more automation in the future. We've been using AI for the past 3-4 years in the factory as well. So it's yeah, it's part of life.
Well, just to add to that, if you're talking about an espresso machine or whatnot, the other thing is I'm assuming that it would be for your business, unless you want an automated robot to do it at your house. Then I'd be like, go for it if you have the budget. But technically speaking, sabihin lang natin that you have to work to see whether it's worth the investment of buying a machine that has AI capabilities and what functions. So parang what added values would it give to you as the business owner? Right? Parang if kunyari sabihin lang natin, you're working with a fully automatic machine. Yes, it might not necessarily give you the best coffee in the world, but it'll give you a consistent cup. But it also removes the risk of you or having a barista who doesn't know what they're doing pull a terrible coffee. So budget pertaining, I guess, it'll make your workflow easier because if you're a business owner, the last thing you really want to really parang working with parang it's one variable that you don't have to parang mess around with. Technically, if you're going for consistency's sake lang, if that's not part of your core business values. Now, if your core business values is to promote parang uh, training baristas, for example, then obviously you wouldn't have a fully automatic machine unless your baristas are there for parang the social aspect na parang mental, parang they're there to give advice, to give kumusta, to make chika. Then okay, sure. But it will, depending whether it fits your business model or not. That would be the biggest thing that I could, for me, that if it fits.
Yeah, because we do have a machine here that has AI built in. Set the brew time, right? And then it adjusts the grind size itself. I've tested it fully. It's pretty amazing. I've tried putting it behind the bar, but at the end of the day, it didn't work out for the Giving Cafe, because the Giving Cafe, it's more about building the skill, diba? That's and yung having that personal touch. To me, as a barista, I feel that that machine belongs somewhere else. Like maybe as a backup machine in a high traffic area, right? Which which is not the Giving Cafe. The Giving Cafe is really chill, really relaxed. Kirk is asking for a Comandante raffle. Kirk, since Comandante is mm, we can have a Comandante raffle, but I think it's more meaningful if we do a better vessel raffle. So if you guys can help me grow my Instagram page, we are now at ilan na ba yung followers natin? I'm at 7,600 followers. If we can hit 8,000, let's do a better vessel raffle. Um, and of course, yung YouTube page natin, I think nasa 1,000 followers pa lang tayo. So if we
Here,
can, if we can hit 1,500 on YouTube and then 8,000 on our Instagram, we can do a better vessel raffle. And it's timely because we are working on the Better Vessel Cup, which is coming. And that's going to be a really cool competition because the Better Vessel is starting to be used in competitions around the world and at the WBC because there are a lot of baristas using it. Like Canada used it to win this year, Mexico used it in their competition, and in Europe there's a few champs that used it as well. I think it's going to be interesting for us here in the Philippines to hold a Better Vessel Cup. Yun lang, naghanap tayo ng mga sponsors kasi these competitions do require a lot of logistics and machines and all that stuff. So we'll plan it. It'll happen sooner or later.
your Better Vessel comes in two colors. You have black and amber. Which one sells more?
It's funny because in Europe and the US, they prefer amber.
Oh,
Here in Asia, they want the smoke, which is the black. So
okay.
it's super interesting. I think again, it's another example of different preferences. We're also looking at other colors. So if you guys have any ideas on what colors we should make next, we're open to that. Sabi nga ni Kirk, kahit anong raffle daw pwede, pati labubu. So, yeah, we'll give it some thought. We're just starting up the Coffee Rockstar podcast again, so this is our first episode back on air. We're gonna try and do more while we're preparing for WBC Tokyo. It's really good also to give updates on what's going on. So at the moment, my coach has asked me to take a break from thinking about competition. But taking a break kind of drives me crazy. So I want to get things done as early as possible. So medyo therapy rin to para sa akin.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, that's gonna be our episode for today. Once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon. It's been fun getting back in touch with you guys and having this cool chat. Hey guys, for the replay of this, feel free to share it on Facebook and Instagram. You guys can also share the YouTube channel. That way we get more followers. The more followers we have and the more subscribers we have, mas gaganahan kami mag live stream kasi yung nga parang therapy rin namin to di ba? So, and if you guys have any ideas for our future episodes, feel free to message. Or if you guys want to guest on the show, we'd love to have you on as well. Because, this is for everyone. This is for the coffee industry. And we like having different discussions and different point of views, right? Ayun. Ang maganda dito, wala tayong politics pinag-uusapan kahit nagkakagulo na sa Senate, di ba? May impeachment today.
Oh, it's ongoing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's ongoing. Like I've been meaning to check it out. Last one, si Jerben, sabi niya pa shout out from Davao. Always been your fan. Thank you so much. Thank you for the shout out. Okay, all right, mga friends, we're gonna head out. Oh, wala na habol, so we're gonna head out. Yun, Joshua, ayan, nakahabol pa siya. Masters in one frame. Ayun. Okay, so that's it for this live. Maraming salamat for joining us. We'll see you again in the next episode. We're thinking about doing this at night. Bago kami pagka-uwi namin from trabaho. So thinking about that, maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Ayun.
May pahabol pa. Shoutouts from Jensen.
ito. Si Joshua. Jensen naman. Okay, okay. Sige, yan na. Finish na kami. See you guys all tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye!